Hey, thanks so much for supporting our program, thus this special video. I wanted to talk about how capitalism, intrinsic to capitalism, and particularly bad with unregulated capitalism, views the environment as an externality, as just, something that you can spin off. It's like taking the trash out, right? Externalities. You internalize your profits and you dump your costs on other people. You externalize them. And the environment, for probably the first 100,000 years of human history, could afford to be considered an externality by humans. I mean, we did a lot of damage when, for example, humans first came into North America 20 to 30,000 years ago. We wiped out the three-toed sloth, this giant animal that wasn't able to run faster than us. We wiped out one of the species of indigenous horses. There was a bunch of animals, large animals, that we just hunted to extinction. So we had an impact, but not one that could devastate civilization or even devastate the larger ecosphere. Now we've reached the point where there's so many of us. Human flesh is the largest single species mass of protoplasm on Earth, right, with over 7 billion of us, and our continuous burning of fossil fuels is actually altering the chemistry of our atmosphere and of our oceans, which, if not stopped, will lead to a mass extinction that will include, if not all of the human race, a large chunk of it. So we're no longer at the point where we can allow capitalism to simply view the environment as an externality. The environment has to be considered as a serious and important part of the equation. And we have not yet plugged that into the way that we do our politics or our economics. It's not part of how we teach our politics or our economics. And in fact, the opposite story, which is that, oh, it's no problem if capitalism uses the environment as its sewer, as its externality, that argument is actually aggressively being made by right-wing think tanks and pundits funded by and large by petro-billionaires like the Kochs and others. And so what we have now is this crisis, this collision between a couple of hundred years of capitalism, which has produced massive growth, and that growth now beginning to look like cancer, beginning to basically eat its host, that is the planet. And the way to dial this back, in my opinion, is inserting strong regulations and rules and laws into our body politic and our body economic that view the environment as intrinsic to our survival, as necessary for our survival, and associate very specific costs with that, so that business has to recalculate all of their formulas on what they're going to do, who they're going to do it to, and how they're going to do it. We need to fundamentally rethink how capitalism works before we destroy ourselves. Thanks for being with us.